Welcome everyone to video number 2 in this ASMR channel of mine. 7 days has gone by since the last video, and I've now posted the first video. So the keen-eared amongst you will then, I guess, follow that the recording and posting days will be the same, so it'll always be a week behind. The reason I'm doing that is just so that I get an opportunity to have the recording for a few days, think about it, make sure it's right before it goes up. That's what I'm going to try and stick to anyway. It might not work that way, but I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so I have battered a few ideas around in my head as to what to do for the second video. So what I thought I'd do is continue with the themes from last time. And obviously, if you haven't seen, if this is the first time you've come across this, or if you're watching out of sequence, then go and watch video number 1, my ASMR, my first video, and that'll give you a little bit of an introduction and a hello from me, so you'll know what on earth I'm rambling on about. But also, you'll understand where I'm coming from here, and for future videos as well. So this week I'd like to concentrate a little more on ASMR itself, its influences on me in a bit more detail, a little bit of the research I've done on it since I started my channel, and the information I found out that I didn't know before about it. I'll go from there. For those of you in the know who have either seen the first video or have seen future ones, I might go on to different subjects and I might ramble on. So again, just to warn you, this is almost a stream of consciousness thing. Very little planning has gone into it. That's how I like to talk anyway. So those of you who know me know this very well. Getting sense out of me in a conversation. Good luck. Now, it's a Sunday night. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Chocolate Day for 2 others. I saw a post on Facebook earlier that said, happy eating chocolate for breakfast day, which I thought was quite nice. I did do that too. But it's the evening. It's night times. And so I'm drinking a little red wine. Because red wine is nice. I'm at work tomorrow, so it is a school night, but a little relaxation does help. I wouldn't say it's been a long or arduous day. It's been quite pleasant, actually. Been to the movies and seen a couple of films, which were really cool. I had a bite to eat out as well, so nothing too arduous. Yeah, it's always nice to have a little sousson before evening times. Anyway, I digress massively. So, ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. That's the type of thing. I've noticed this just tonight, actually, when I was doing a little bit of research earlier, and I noticed it's one of those things that can happen, or one of those things if you explain to somebody what it is. So if you sort of say, oh, I do, or I'm into ASMR, well, what's that? And you can sound like really obnoxious when you go, oh, well, it's autonomous sensory meridian response. And for a while I said that. I still don't really know what that means. Not really. Not if I'm truly, truly honest with myself. It just sounds well better than ASMR. Well better. At least I didn't have a lengthy education. Otherwise I'd have come up with a better sentence than that. Anyway, I'm going off on one again. ASMR. Or tingles. Or calmness or relaxation. Whatever it is that one gets out of this response to stimulus, which is really what it's banging on about. It's a method. It's not really right, is it? It's something that can be taken advantage of to create that relaxation. What I love about it is its ability, for those who can experience it, to change your mood from 1 minute to the next. Doesn't take a long video. I think most of the videos I've watched, I don't know if this is a YouTube thing or a platform thing or a social media thing, but most of the videos I've watched are between 10 and 20 minutes long. Some go over, some are under. That's around about what we're looking at as an average. That's all you really need to get what you need from it. Now myself, personally, don't really get the tingling sensation that is described. And obviously those of you who understand what ASMR is, I apologise for going over this again, but for those that don't, if someone talks about tingles from ASMR, they're talking about a sensation that can sometimes happen in the scalp or in the neck. A little bit like really intense goosebumps, but it's almost underneath the skin, and it then can spread throughout the rest of your body, and it washes over you, and that can create, or does create, really relaxed feelings, and a feeling of warmth, sometimes comfort as well. And it's really nice. Now, I don't get the tingling side of it, but I do get the relaxation side, and I do get the warmth side. And for me, it's allowed me to find something to do on a regular basis to keep things ticking over for myself. Because sometimes life can be a life. I think we all understand that. Let's be honest, life can be really shit sometimes. Sometimes it can be amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to bring people down or anything like that. I mean, I can do, but in the main, no, that's not what I'm here for. But it can be shit. And if you also have other stuff to deal with outside of the normal, if you have a condition, or even if you don't have a condition, which makes that worse, it's really, really nice to have something that you can do yourself, independent of listening to doctors, or attending therapy, or even taking medication, all of which has stigma attached to it, feelings of guilt we just can't help. It's nice to be able to do that independently and say to yourself, oh, that was nice, okay, I feel a little bit better, I feel a little bit more centered and way more balanced. If that's at the beginning of your day and you've got a long day ahead, it can be a complete changer. All it takes really is one really good day to create a few good ones after it. Just like all it takes is one really bad day to mess up a few. So if you have that in your back pocket, so to speak, to do on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever your bag is, then yeah, it feels like you're taking steps yourself. This is how I feel anyway. I feel like you can take steps yourself towards, I don't want to sound as dramatic as recovery, that's not what I mean really, maintenance, daily maintenance of yourself and who you are as a person. So personality wise it can really improve things. And sometimes if you're the sort of person who's a mood hoover, you can bring a room down with a negative presence. You can also bring it up again with a positive presence. So that's also nice. A bit more wine. A bit of a sip. Okay, so that's ASMR as I understand it. Research that I was doing linked to an article I read in The Guardian. I'm terribly sorry, I've completely forgotten to take down the year that this was written, but it'll have been in the last 4 or 5 years, I'm sure. It described how little actual scientific research has been done into it, because a lot of the evidence people have for what it does and what it's for is anecdotal. And the irony is that what I'm telling you now is also anecdotal. It's just a story I'm telling you. However, sorry, I'm just getting into a more comfortable sitting position. However, this article was very positive about the whole thing and the research that was being done in a couple of British universities. One study at Bristol, I think it was, but the second study was being done at Sheffield Hallam. And groups of people are building data and doing it in a very scientific way, obviously, from a psychological point of view as to what this whole thing could be about, and to give us a bit more of a sense of what might be happening inside our heads when it's going on. And it was really nice to read about. It's very affirming, reaffirming even, that it was being considered from a scientific point of view. I think the community itself is going to be fine without that. One of the things this article did mention is that this anecdotal evidence is in no way to be looked at negatively. It was overwhelming. There's like a large proportion of people who had mentioned in these studies about what was going on without any testing, and it was all sort of done independently. There was no groups of people being asked at the same time, and the responses were all the same, or more or less all the same, about what sort of sensations it gives you. So that in and of itself is a good indicator that ASMR itself is on the right track. So, I just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit. That's me waffling for a touch. How are you all? I hope you're well. I hope you're very well indeed. I am also good. If you are not feeling good or you're not feeling well, do not worry. Now I hope that in some way that this video or the videos you've seen before or the series, or even if it's just listening to a section of the video, in some way helps. Just by listening, by relaxing, and by feeling included in something. That's what this community is all about. And I'm talking from a point of view of only just starting out, really. I'm an avid listener and an avid fan of ASMR, that much is clear. But what I'm looking to do when doing videos is add just that little bit of me to it. So bringing about more change, bringing about more comfort, more of what people who make ASMR videos and content write about it, do the research, the scientists doing the research, everybody involved, getting a really positive message out there, whilst at the same time providing you with that haven I talked about in the first video. I've always liked that word anyway. Haven is a really nice word, and it's closely associated with the British holiday company, also called Haven. And they're a little bit of a budget sort of throwaway holiday, so I don't like that. But the initial original meaning of the word haven, a place to be, even if that place exists only online, it's still a place. It exists in my mind, and if it also exists in your mind, then it exists completely. That's all that's required from our imaginations. If something exists in our minds, then our minds are real. So by extension, even though that thing isn't corporeal, it still has an effect on reality in inverted commas. I have to say in inverted commas because I'm not on the video, so I can't do the bunny ears thing. That's something I've noticed as well. Okay. What next, guys? What next? Well. Oh yes, plans for the future. So, what I think I might do is do 2 more videos about me and my experiences. I might cover depression and social anxiety next week, because that was another big part of the first video, to give an overall explanation of what this whole thing is all about. What I will actually touch on now is the name of my channel, in case you're wondering. Pegasus ASMR. What the devil does he mean? Well, my surname has the letters P-E-G in it, Peg, and when I was younger, I had the nickname Peggers, P-E-G-G-E-R-S, Peggers. Now if you extrapolate's not the right word, if you say that word quickly, Pegasus, Peggers, 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 it just becomes Pegasus. So Pegasus is quite a natural transition from that. So I like it, the iconography of sort of like a mythical winged horse. Does it represent sort of being able to fly? Does it represent freedom? I don't know. There was just something comforting about the whole thing. I put ASMR because that's what it is, and I wanted to describe what it was, as well as anything else. So there you go, that's the reason for the name of the channel. Yeah, so what I was saying originally was depression, social anxiety. I want to do a bit more in depth next week about that. There's a lot to talk about. It can be a touchy subject too, so I want to make sure it's done correctly for you guys. Suffice to say, it will be approached sensitively, so never fear. I'm planning on, the idea is that I'm here for you guys, so I'll try and put whatever content I can out there in the right way. For the 4th video, unsure yet as to what to really go for. I think I might just do a recap, a summary, but the theme throughout all of this is going to be ramble, ramble, ramble. Stream of consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I want that to be as natural as possible. I want to have these little gaps where I'm not really sure what I'm going to say next. I quite like them. There's a lot to be said ironically, in not saying anything at all. I think that's a nice thing to remember. I think that's a good thing to know. Okay guys, well, I reckon I've covered the majority of what I wanted to cover, so I might leave it there. Give us your thoughts, guys. If you're listening and you want to say something, that's what the comment section is for. Listen, make that positive or negative. It's absolutely, that's what it's there for. Positive comments are very affirming, but negative comments allow me to change and adapt with time, and I'll have time to make any corrections, introduce new ideas, make this as interactive as possible. I might not be able to get back to you guys directly, but I will make sure that, at least for now, I'm putting an overall comment on a Sunday, if I can make it. Sundays might be Saturday, might be Monday, but in and around that time, as a general sort of hey, thank you to everybody on each one. So yeah, interactivity. Please do not hesitate to comment below if you have anything to suggest, positive or negative. Okay, I've said that loads now, so I hope you guys take a great deal of care. In the meantime, I've enjoyed chatting to you tonight. It's been really cool. Thanks for popping by, in a sense. And I will speak to you again in the next video. Good night, guys. Take care.